What's going on, guys? For those of you that are new to the channel, my name is Ty, and today in this video, we're going to be talking about James Gunn's Superman film and whether or not it can crack the $1 billion mark. Only 55 or so films have ever passed that mark, but will Superman be the next one up to join that coveted list? That's what I want to dive into here today. But guys, if you guys enjoyed this video, please be sure to drop a like, and also, if you want to hit that subscribe button, it would mean the world to me. But listen, guys, let's just talk about Superman first a little bit, okay? At least my own personal context and how I feel about this movie. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I absolutely love James Gunn. James Gunn is arguably my favorite director. Like, I just have a wide variety of favorite directors, honestly. I love Scorsese. I love James Gunn. I love so many different directors. James Gunn is like a top 2 director for me, honestly. Just from a pure fun standpoint, I feel like his humor just clicks with mine. I just love the emotional stakes. The way he builds his characters up. He's just my style. I feel like we're just on the same wavelength. Not that I could make a film ever like his, but still, it's just the point. I feel like my brain just really connects to his movies. Love the Guardians of the Galaxy films. Going into Superman, it's my most anticipated movie of the year. It's been since, I don't even know, like practically 2 years ago that in 2025, the Superman movie's coming out. And yes, there's a bunch of other movies that I was so hyped for, but Superman remains at the top because this is James Gunn's first real crack at a top tier character. And this is the thing, the Guardians of the Galaxy, he built them up, of course. The Suicide Squad, you know, they were a little popular from the 2016 movie, but not really. But he's not just taking on a main character, he's taking on arguably the most popular superhero of all time, Superman. Besides maybe Batman and Spider-Man, I mean, who else is there to really compete with Superman? Superman, everyone knows Superman. And the thing with Superman, I think he's in an interesting scenario because Spider-Man, again, talking about that top 3, Spider-Man has already had very good films. The Raimi trilogy, I honestly like the Amazing Spider-Man films, but either way, even if we ignore those, and even if we ignore the MCU ones, the Raimi trilogy is like the gold standard for comic book films. I look at Batman, right? You've got the Dark Knight, awesome rendition of Batman. Well, I don't really love the Batman in those movies, but however, the movie is really good. And then The Batman, another awesome movie. Batman's been done right so many times. But Superman, I feel like Superman's had a pretty weird run, right? Because in 1978, of course, the Christopher Reeve Superman movie came out. I love that movie. I think it's awesome. The only problem with it, that again, it's not like a problem, is that it came out in 1978. So it's not like the technology was up to today's speed where Superman could, fly around with CGI. And I know that's not what it's all about, but at the end of the day, it is a fair point to bring up. I don't want to be naive and just ignore the fact that the technology wasn't advanced, because it's not like we got to see insane laser eyes and quick movements and stuff. But the themes in that movie are what really matters. Gene Hackman's portrayal of Lex Luthor is awesome. And of course, you got Lois Lane. Awesome film. From there, though, you got Man of Steel. I'm not really a fan of Man of Steel. I appreciate the take on Superman, honestly, especially now that we're about to get a new rendition, but just not really a big fan of that film. I actually like Batman vs. Superman more than Man of Steel, but I don't really want to get into that today. But it feels like we're finally getting a modern, hopeful, positive, uplifting version of Superman. The man that just wants to do the right thing. And listen, I've never claimed ever on this channel to be a comic book fan. I am the biggest comic book movie fan in the world, but honestly, I just don't read comic books, and I think that's okay. So I'm not going to sit here and dive into the analysis of, oh yeah, this is what Superman characters like specifically. But I still obviously know the basics. I know the layers and the foundations, and I feel like even from watching the movies, I could talk about what Superman is. Superman's supposed to represent hope. He's supposed to represent doing the right thing, saving people. That's why he saves people, man. He's Superman. He's got his pose, right? His chest is popped out. He's supposed to be a positive figure. And Man of Steel tried to do like a darker thing. And then again, going back to 1978 with Christopher Reeve, he is a positive Superman, but it's just that the technology isn't really up to date. Still a phenomenal movie, I'm just saying. But now it's 2025. Now, James Gunn's getting a $200 million budget. Now, we can make anything we want as a society with CGI, because it's modern times. And from the trailers, from all that, I couldn't be more excited. And again, I'm going to talk about the $1 billion thing in a minute, but I just want to talk about this movie, just have like a bit of an open discussion. From what I've seen with this movie, I love how it feels like, despite the fact it's going to be a superhero film, a Superman film, it's going to be a Superman film focused on him. I feel like the world building from just the trailers feels so rich. And obviously I have to bring up the elephant in the room that this is going to be in a universe. This isn't just like a one and done superhero movie. This is going to be in a live living universe. We already got Creature Commandos. We're getting Supergirl next year. Maybe Clayface, maybe Sergeant Rock, maybe Batman the Brave and the Bold, other shows, Peacemaker. But this is the thing. I love how lived in this world feels. I like that Hawkgirl's going to be in here. I like that Guy Gardner's Green Lantern's going to be in here. Metamorpho, all these weird things. Crypto the dog, the little pocket dimensions, and you got Ultraman and the Engineer and Lex Luthor. It feels like everything's just clicking in place just based on the trailers. Metropolis feels so lived in. Even just from the little clips that we saw, it feels like a comic book world. It doesn't feel like our world. I'd argue that when I look at the MCU, honestly, it does feel like our world, just with superheroes. But this feels larger than life. Almost like in the Fantastic Four trailer, how their world feels a little bit off. It feels like that retro-futuristic vibe. That's almost what Superman reminds me of, like the trailer, where I feel like even though it's kind of set in like modern times, I guess you could say, it still just feels a bit more corny and cheesy in a way that I really like. I love when Superman's just like, hey buddy, eyes up here. I love when he just says corny stuff like that. There's another part where Lex Luthor, there was another TV spot where he says something along the lines of, he's the most powerful man in the world, and it shouldn't be that way. I'm paraphrasing, but it's so corny, and I love that. And I like that Superman is this character where he is corny, because of course he's an alien, and of course he grew up as a human, but it's just the point that he should be like the good model citizen. And sometimes being corny is cool. And that's when you're a good person, because when people try to be too cool, sometimes like they do bad things. Like, they try to impress their friends by like either bullying people or just doing things that could get themselves hurt or others hurt. But listen, I think it's time to get down to the burning question. Honestly, I haven't made a Superman video in a while, even though I'm super hyped for this movie, just because I've been trying to temper my expectations so that when I actually watch the film, I'm not disappointed, even though I think it's going to be great. I just don't want to build up my height level. I actually have my Superman shirt that I purchased. I should have wore it for this video in my closet right now with the new logo. It looks super sick. But listen, is this film going to hit the $1 billion mark? I've rambled. This is the thing. I feel like this marketing so far has been even crazier than I thought it was going to be. I remember it was like April before the second trailer dropped, because we got the teaser back in December a while ago. Then it was kind of just radio silence. We didn't hear anything for like months. Even the Super Bowl was kind of dead, which is always a big trailer time for when it's summer. But then we got that second trailer. And I feel like ever since we got that second trailer, I can't even escape Superman. And I know that, as a younger person, I'm always on social media. I'm always on Twitter. But I'm seeing the things they're doing with this marketing, and it's like unbelievable. I saw that today in like Paris. They had like some fashion show that's like Superman themed. I saw that, I think it's one of the airlines, like JetBlue or Delta, I don't know what it is. When you're on the flight, there's a progress bar that shows you how far into the flight you are. And the progress bar, like the little thing that shows where you are, is the Superman logo. They're doing dog bone collaborations for crypto. They're doing Dairy Queen collabs. All this stuff is just ramping up. You can't escape this movie. There's billboards now. There's TV spots. During the NBA Finals, they're playing little TV spots. The marketing is literally gargantuan. And they did not lie, because there was a report a while ago that apparently there's going to be something called the Summer of Superman, where Warner Bros. Is really going to pump a lot of money into this film being marketed in a similar way to Barbie. And with Barbie, it worked, okay? Because even with the Oppenheimer thing, or the Barbenheimer, I should say, Barbie still made $1.5 billion while competing against Oppenheimer, which made like $950 or something like that. Superman's alone that weekend. It's completely alone, and yes, Jurassic World comes out about 8 days before it, or whatever, maybe 9 days, and then Fantastic Four comes out like 2 weeks later, but it's kind of on an island. And guys, I'm just going to say it right here, right now, because I don't want to beat around the bush and just be like, yeah, maybe it'll make $1 billion. I'm going to honestly just put all my cards on the table. I'm going to put my chips all in. I think this movie's going to hit $1 billion. Do I think it's going to hit 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4? Honestly, no. I think this movie's just going to scrape by. And I'm just going to miraculously put a number out there, okay? I think this movie's going to make $1.03 billion. That's my guess, okay? I think it's going to just scratch away at $1 billion. I know it's like a super random number, but that's just my guess, okay? $1.03 billion. Why do I say that, okay? There's a thing. I feel like DC, obviously, some people talk about, oh, the DCEU. A lot of people lost faith in DC because of the DCEU. I'm going to be 100% honest with you guys. I don't think general audiences really care about that anymore. It's been like 2 years since a DC movie. Even in 2023, when they dropped like 4 DCEU movies, nobody went to see them. And now that we're 2 years removed, no one cares. And believe it or not, a lot of audiences, honestly, don't even know like who releases what. Some people probably think like Superman is from Marvel. They don't know what's going on. I'm talking about general audiences. And honestly, who cares? Now you've got James Gunn in here. A lot of people, honestly, I feel like know James Gunn from Guardians of the Galaxy. Even like just casual kind of superhero fans, they know James Gunn. You got a good creative in here. You've got, obviously, David Corenswet, a more unknown guy. But this marketing push, it's making me believe, because I feel like a lot of people are going to see this, and it seems so hopeful and so vibrant. It seems like it's going to be a really good film. And I feel like another factor that I need to talk about, and God, I do not want to jinx this, is that I think this movie is just going to be awesome. I think it's going to be a phenomenal comic book film. I'm going to be real. And again, I'm twisting my fingers. Please, God, don't disappoint me. That's why I've tried to temper my expectations, because even though I think it's going to be really amazing, I've just been trying to calm myself down. Okay, let's relax. Let's not think about it too much. Especially because the day this video drops, there's exactly a month left until I see the movie, because it comes out July 11th, but, you know, the 10th is like the Thursday night previews. And of course, I got to see it the earliest that I possibly can. And it's just one of these things where I'm trying to keep my expectations low. Another thing that I gotta mention though, like I just said, with the quality, if word of mouth gets around that this movie's really good, I think that more people are going to want to go see it, especially that it's hopeful, especially if it maybe becomes like a thing on social media, because, you know, we're still a month out, so there's still some time. But I feel like when Barbenheimer really hit its stride, we were like a week away from the movies coming out, and it was like, oh my God, I feel like the week of Superman, they're going to really turn on the jets, and we're just going to go full throttle. You're not going to be able to escape Superman on social media. People are going to be talking about it everywhere. And another thing I need to mention, because I feel like it's a very important factor. I look at the Minecraft movie, right? That movie had so much hype, right? All the chicken jockey stuff. It's actually not going to hit $1 billion. It's going to end its run at about like 950 million. And I know you might be thinking, oh my God, that's a kid's movie. It has a popular IP. Like, everyone knows about it. Jack Black, Jason Momoa in it. Why didn't that movie make $1 billion? I have one reason. I have one reason and one reason only. It wasn't good. I'm going to be honest. As funny as the joke was with Chicken Jockey, as crazy as, you know, kids go after Minecraft and they love it, the movie wasn't good. And a lot of people know that. And there's a lot of kids, especially like my age, that even grew up with, like, you know, the Minecraft nostalgia. And I talked to friends that said, yeah, I knew all the hype was going around, but I just heard it sucked, so I didn't go see it. I feel like it's going to be the opposite effect, where your movie needs to be good for it to actually be seen by a lot of people. You got to keep in mind, not everybody runs out to the theaters that first weekend. I'm obviously an insane sicko, so every single Thursday I'm going to see the movie as early as possible. But there's a lot of people that see it the second weekend, the third weekend, the 8th weekend, because they just, I don't know, don't have the time. Maybe they wait until the Discount Tuesday at AMC, or now they're actually starting Discount Wednesday as well, so we'll see where that takes us. But I just feel like people don't realize that once that word of mouth gets around and you could hold up those weekends down the line, people might be going to see this weekend, might be going to see this movie in the 4th weekend at a strong rate, at the 5th weekend in a strong rate. And if Fantastic Four is good, hear me out on this. If Fantastic Four is good 2 weeks later, maybe people are going to be like, wow, I'm just on such a good superhero kick right now. Let's also go see Superman. If maybe for some reason they wanted to just see the Fantastic Four movie, but they didn't see Superman, even though I feel like they overlap, of course. They're going to help each other out is what I'm trying to say. I think Superman's going to make $1 billion. It just feels like, and this is just something that either you got it or you don't, it just feels like Superman has momentum. It feels like this monstrous freight train right now in the social space, in the comic book space, that is just moving at full speed. And I understand that when I think about, you know, comic book Twitter, and even like the YouTube space, like all the reviewers and stuff that even I watch, even though technically I'm a part of it, which is kind of weird to even think about. It's one of these things where there's still such a minority in reality, but I feel like for general audiences, which makes up like 90% of these the people that actually go to see the movie, I feel like even they know about this movie, and I feel like even they're excited because everyone knows Superman. And if you see that trailer and you hear that John Williams score with the electric guitar, how could you not get hyped? And I just love seeing Superman go behind that girl, protect her in slow motion, which literally almost had me in tears just from seeing that. I just hit my hand on my table. God damn, that actually kind of hurt. But listen, it's just one of these things where I'm going to believe, I'm going to have hope that Superman's going to hit $1 billion. Now listen, I'm excited for the movie, but if I didn't think the movie was going to make $1 billion, I'd be honest and I'd tell you guys. But honestly, I do believe in my heart this film is gonna crack the $1 billion mark. Either way, even if it doesn't, it's not a failure. As long as it makes like 750, maybe 800 million. I know that seems kind of high, but keep in mind that we're putting a lot of money into this. So as long as it hits that, I think it'll be fine. But guys, the things that would happen if this movie hits like $1.2 billion, like miraculously, oh my god, that would be amazing. Keep in mind too, Deadpool and Wolverine made like 1.5 billion, I think, and that movie was rated R. So a lot of people, you know, I know that a lot of people think, oh yeah, every parent lets their kids see rated R movies. There's a lot of parents, you know, I don't blame them, that don't let their kids see rated R stuff. This film's probably going to be like PG-13. I think it was actually just rated PG-13 the other day. It's like 2 hours and 9 minutes. It's the perfect summer blockbuster. Who doesn't want to see Superman during the summer in this lived-in world with all these other heroes just going crazy? I just have a feeling this movie's going to explode and no one's going to expect it. But listen, let me know what you guys think about this movie down below. Are you excited? Are you not? You like David Cornsweet? Do you not? I'm going to be ramping up the Superman videos because now we're just super close and I'm super excited, I guess you could say. But listen, again, let me know if you think Superman's going to make $1 billion or not. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I love you guys and I'll see you in the next video.